Nail friend, do you actually know how to do nails that don't lift and pop off like this? Ugh. Because if you ever sent a client home feeling cute, I know that sick feeling in your stomach when 3 days later they're texting you a photo of the nail that just popped off. Trust me, I feel it now. So, why don't we just fix the lifting problem so that you can just move on? Nail prep. Yep, I know you've heard it before, but how I do nails that don't lift is different. I learned to do 3 simple but vital yet surefire techniques that can help make sure these nails go nowhere. So here's the deal. A nail tech living in repair mode today is not the business, okay? Ooh, that rhymed. Now, when I was a nail babe, lifting was my nightmare. When I got my own nails done by others, they lifted. So sadly, I thought lifting problems was just a normal nightmare. One of those things that I had to deal with as a nail tech. I found out later most lifting problems came from nail prep. And boy, was I doing way too much and doing all the wrong stuff. Are you feeling me on that? Once I learned 3 simple but different techniques for how to do nails that don't lift, my nightmares disappeared. I stopped wasting time fixing free nail repairs. Clients actually rebooked, and I wasn't afraid of the lifted nail nightmare. That's when I felt confident in the nails that I created and was not afraid to charge more. I was finally building a business and making some real money. Nail friend, hear me when I tell you, product lifting is not normal. Nails should not come off until we take them off. Today, I'm just going to tell you, my lifting game is so tight that if my clients' nails lift and pop off, I'm real live blaming them for it, okay? And I'm usually right. By the way, I'm Tamara, a nail tech just like you. But because I've been at this for almost 30 years, I've been where you want to be, and I have the nail GPS that will speed up your entire nail journey. Now, of course, these nails won't end up in glitter and fancy swirls and nothing like that. That's just not my thing. But you might agree that when you do all that nail art, you want them nails to stay on, right? Yeah, see, you watch me stick to the same routine of sculpting nails to finish a solid nail foundation in an hour or less without product frustration, lifting problems, or damage to the client's natural nails. My nail GPS fast track, it's not a tutorial, nor is it a nail course. It's actually a mini training that shows you the step-by-step system I use to learn nails quick, finish nails fast, and a solid way to eliminate the competition so that you build a client base even faster. Go ahead and check that out in the Nail GPS in the description when this video is over. But listen, I'm going to get to those steps in a minute, but I think it's important that you know why lifting is a pure no-no. Yes, it is a nightmare to deal with. Yes, if the nails lift, the nails will eventually pop off. That's ugly, and clients don't come back after that. But even worse, water can get trapped and can start a bacteria infection, turning the nails green. Yep, that's what we call the greenies. You don't want to be responsible for that. That's why we need to get this lifting under control. So let's do our part to stop that lifting. So here's the deal. Products like acrylic and gel, they do not like oil, shine, or wet. So the whole goal with nail prep is simply to remove the oil, shine, and wet. So technique number 1 in how I do nails that don't lift is etch. Now, I don't hear much talk about this at all, let alone the word. Nobody really even uses that word, but it's your secret weapon. Etching the nail plate takes care of the whole goal, getting rid of that oil, shine, and wet. Most nail techs use the E-file with a sanding band and go side to side on each nail until it's all roughed up, right? But how I etch is different. Using a 100 grit file, not a zebra file, scratch the nail plate up and down. This is the way the nails grow, so it's less damaging to the natural nails. Now be gentle. You're just removing shine and creating what we like to call hills and valleys, giving the nails texture so that the product grabs hold like Velcro. That nail should look chalky white when you're done. Got that? Technique number 2 is remove cuticles. Now listen, to be clear, the cuticle is the sticky skin that attaches itself to the nail plate. If we place product on top of skin, any skin, it's going to lift, right? The living skin behind the nail is the proximal fold. That's what we used to call the cuticle, but that's just not true. We don't want to cut that unless it's like standing up and waving at us, okay? Most nail techs use an e-file to remove cuticle. The bit that's used to do that smooths the nail plate so much and it goes across the grain, and it's just too smooth for anything to happen. And some nail techs also use cuticle remover products. Well, these add moisture to the nail plate. Aren't we trying to get rid of that? Okay, so no. How I remove cuticle so that the nails don't lift is different. I use what we call a pterygium stone. It starts with a P, but that P is silent. Pterygium stone. I use that instead. It's a rough little tool that's used to scoot around the edges of the nail where the cuticle likes to hide. And then it lifts the sticky dead skin up and off, and we get to push the skin back to expose more nail without undoing the etch that we did in the first technique. You can find this tool on my vendor list in the description. Got that? All right, technique number 3 is dust. Now, this is sorely overlooked. Leftover dust equal, like tiny rocks under your product. And that equals lift city. Say it with me. Lift city. We don't want to leave dust on the nails. Most nail techs use a fluffy makeup brush because it's cute and it feels good. But it's also germy because it can't be disinfected, and the hairs aren't strong enough to get all the dust off the nail. How I dust so that the nails don't lift is different. I use a plastic manicure brush and I brush dust away from the cuticle. The bristles on this type of brush are stiff enough to remove all the dust from the nails, and it can be washed and disinfected. Now, I used to do all the stuff I said most nail techs do, so that's how I know it's being done. See why I say I was doing too much of all the wrong stuff? So far, that's 3 of 12 major but simple steps for completing a set of nails that will be vital to your success. I show all these steps in the Nail GPS mini training listed in the description. As a matter of fact, whenever you watch me apply product, you'll notice that my product is moved only close enough to the cuticle area where you still see natural nail. This is another hack that will improve your no lifting status, so pay attention to that. Listen, nail friend, as a beginner nail tech, you can cut out a lot of frustration and build your business way faster if you veered off the traditional path just a bit. As a matter of fact, again, watch this next video to see what I mean. I'll see you next Nail Jam.